Hello, welcome to the data channel and you're watching Python Bootcamp for data professionals. So as part of this video, we will understand how to install Python in your Windows machine, in your Windows laptop or any desktop or Windows operating system, whatever machine you have. So how do you actually install that package, Python package in your Windows machine, right? And we'll have a step-by-step installation steps explained in this video. And in the previous videos in the playlist, you have already seen from starting from the introduction till the application. So we have seen couple of theoretical concepts related to Python. So from this particular video, we will start the practical sessions or practical videos will be uploaded. Series of practical videos will be uploaded, and so to start with, we will be explaining how to install the Python step by step in your Windows machine. So before proceeding, if you're new to this channel, we would recommend you to please subscribe and also press bell button for instant notifications. Let's get started. So let's first see at a high level what would be the steps of installation of Python looks like, right? So first we will download the Python installer from the website and we will have to choose which version we want. So then we will install that, we will run that installer to start that setup, all right? And then when you are doing that setup, so we have some customization option that we will see, like how to control those options. And finally you actually once the installation is completed, so we will verify certain like we will use we will check the Python version and pip version to confirm that the installation is completed. So finally, there is another step where it is optional but recommended, which is set up a virtual environment, right, to start practicing. So why we need that and what are the steps for that? So we will discuss how do you create a directory and create, active, deactivate a virtual environment. So that we will see how to do that, right? Now, actually, let's go to the Python website and start installing that. So to do that, like we need to go to the Python website, official website to for the downloading the latest version, right? And the Python website is something like this, right? You can go to python.org and start slash downloads. If you go to this official website, here you will be able to see all the Python versions, right? And you can see the latest version of the Python for Windows, that is 13.12.3. So you can use any of this 3.x version, but so we would always recommend to choose one version before, like if it is 1.13, so it's always better to use minus one version, right? So we can download actually 3.13, which was, if you can see, when it was released, right? And so that would be your latest version. So you can see all the previous versions here, right? If you are looking for any specific version, you can definitely go and look for that, but I don't see any reason, unless if you are want to use particular version for some reason which is already running in your production code or something, and you want to use that version to continue that version for that reason, so then you can use it, because 3 is a back is not a backward compatible, right? So 3 is a major release, so you cannot switch you cannot switch the versions from 3 to 2 easily, right? Because 3 is like 3 dot whatever you say, right? That 3 is nothing but it's a major release. Okay, so now with that we will try to download this. Once you click on that, your download will start. So as you can see here, you can see whether your download is started, right? And once the download is completed, you can just click on that to start the installation. So here we need to make sure that add python.exe is checked. Okay, this is important or crucial, as it allows you to run Python from the command line without specifying the full path as well, right? So you need to check this, right? And also you need to click on customize installation. You can use this one, but we will click on customize installation because we want to make sure that all these things are checked, whatever we want, the features, right? So those are checked. So once you have all these options checked, so you can click on next. So in the advanced option, you can leave the default option. You might want to check install for all users if that is required. If there are a lot of many users, want to if you want the installation to be accessible for all the users in that particular machine, so you can click that, right? So this will require admin privilege if you are doing that. Otherwise, you can do without admin privilege, right? And then you can click on install. So it will take some time, so a few minutes, depending on your machine capacity and the internet speed, right? So once the installation is completed, you will be able to see this setup was successful prompt. So then you can close that. So now that Python is installed, so we will go to the command prompt. We will just run and open the command prompt, right? So once the command prompt is open, so this is I have the command my command prompt open here, right? And so how do I verify that the Python is installed in your machine? So once the installation is completed, so we want to verify, right? So whether actually the Python is installed or it is having some issues, right? So to verify that, you just need to open the command prompt, right? And type in Python. Python is a keyword and then hyphen hyphen, then type in version. So once you execute that, so you'll be able to see Python 3.12.3 is a version that we have installed, right? So or else you can just type in Python as well. So it will show you the version. So you can check your pip version also. Pip is nothing but it is a Python's package installer. So that is pip is where it's a package. It will actually install all the packages and the libraries. So this also we need to verify whether it is actually installed properly or not to verify the Python installation. So if you do a pip version, so it will show you what is the current pip version that's been installed along with the Python. So this actually displayed now the pip version, right? And next, let us go to the concept of setting up a virtual environment. So ideally, this is not required as a mandatory step, but when you're working or collaborating with multiple people, multiple projects, right? Suppose today you are working in one project, right? That is fine, but tomorrow you might be working in multiple projects. So then each project can have its own libraries. So one project can have a required a scikit library of certain version, and another project might have a scikit library of another version, and one particular project that you are working might need a certain library and another might not need that particular library, right? So how do you segregate those two environments or two which are related to two different projects or two different teams, right? So to do that, so that is what we call it as it is important to create a particular virtual environment, right? So how do you create a virtual environment, that we will see, right? So we can just type again Python hyphen m and venv, right? It's a virtual environment, and then I'll give maybe like project 1 prj1, right? So once I execute that, the Python will start creating its own environment for project 1. So that is one environment that project it is creating, right? So let's wait for that environment to be created. Right. So now that the project is created, so we need to activate that virtual environment, right? So you can create a number of virtual environments, right? If you have 10 different projects you're working, so you can create different environments. And once you do that, you need to activate that, right? So that project. So I will just type in script slash. So here instead of, yeah, you need to start with prj1, that is a project name, and then you need to give scripts then slash activate. So once you do that, so your as you can see here, there is a uh, extra string that is added before c colon. That means you are inside that virtual environment, or virtual environment of that particular project, right? So after that, whatever you do, it will be specific to that particular project only. Okay, suppose I want to do a, say, pip install, right? So pip install, I want to do some package called as minimal, right? So it has installed, it is installing the minimal package in the project one, right? And once if I still do that, so now I need to come out of this. Like if I want to see the project, right? Like I will just do pip list. So if I do a pip list, it will show me the list of the project list of projects. I mean list of pips that I've installed, right? So and minimal is one of that because I've just installed that, right? So because I'm currently in which project? I'm in project one. So I installed this particular PRJ, I mean a particular pip minimal in the PRJ1 project. So whenever I do a pip install in PRJ1, it will show me the minimal because it is installed in that virtual machine or virtual environment, right? So now if I want to see the effect of it, I need to deactivate, right? That means I want to come out of this virtual environment of the PRJ1. So now I'm out of this, right? So if I now I do pip list, so it is not showing minimal as a package, right? Because I'm out of this project. So what we are trying to say is the why we need to create a virtual environment. We are just want to explain here. So if I want project if there are project specific needs that I want to install some libraries, do some activities, right? Or use a certain version of the library, so I can do that with a project specific thing. So I need not otherwise it will be global, right? So whatever I install the version, so one project might need a minimal of zero point 0.1 version and another might need a certain different version. So in that case we cannot control that, right? So that is why we need to create a virtual environment. And virtual environments also like are a crucial part of a modern Python development, right? So they allow you to create a isolated environment. So that's what we were telling. And for your projects, different projects that you are working, and each with its own dependencies and configurations. And like let's take an example again, right? A different project may require different version of certain library. Installing on dependency globally can lead to a version conflict. So that we already discussed, right? And with this we are solving that issue. And other issue might be consistency and reproducibility, so where collaboration or deployment environments need to replicate your development setup accurately. So without isolation, subtle difference in library version can cause again like discrepancies. And also there might be like global installation issues, right? So when there is a global installation issues, what happens is can require certain administrative privileges, can potentially interfere with system-wide Python packages and other projects. So that dependency we want to remove if there is any dependency, right? If you want to do any global related installation, so that will require your elevated access. So you need you like why we need that elevated access, right? If you have your own environment, you can play around in that environment. And also end of the day, it actually brings the clean environment develop for the development, and over the time installing various packages globally can create a cluttery environment for Python, making it too difficult to manage, right? If you don't have a virtual environment, so it will be very difficult to manage as well, right? And also like think of a scenario where you want to upgrade certain packages in certain projects, right? And maybe upgrade, delete, install, uninstall. So everything can be managed at a project level. So that is the importance of having your own virtual machine, sorry, a virtual environment in the Python. So it's always best practice, once you install the Python package and start practicing, make sure you create a your own virtual environment and start working on it. So that will become a best practice when you're working, so that it will not interfere with other global settings or global projects that you're working in. So and you can work in different multiple projects, right? So that will clearly segregate the environments, right? Hope the installation and how do you install the Python and how exactly you are kind of a need of the virtual environment, and also we have seen how virtual environment we can set it up and deactivate, also activate it, and how it is useful from the developer perspective, right? So hope this was useful, and thanks for watching.